listening to Diminishing Returns, the podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and reboots. I'm Chris Scott, and across from me, he's the Ja Rule of this operation. This shady operation. He is the Ja Rule to my that other guy from the Fire Festival. It's Mr. Alan Johnson, everybody!
How do pod people?
So this is another one of our non-franchise episodes, our re-bonuses, in between the episodes where instead of focusing on a particular film franchise, we will talk about news, trailers, and frankly, whatever the fuck we want. So Alan, are we starting with our traditional news segment?
Yeah, we've got a remake, some TV reruns, some teasing, and something very displeasing.
Ooh.
Maybe this is a film that you will have some deep attachment to. There's a remake of Roald Dahl's The Witches on its way.
Well, I loved Roald Dahl books as a wee guy, and I seem to remember loving that film because it was like a film adaptation that was actually kind of cool as fuck. Like, I haven't seen it since I was, whatever, 11 or something. Super bald witches and fucking, like,
Yeah.
I just remember it being like, yeah, this is fucking cool.
When Angelica Houston pulls off the skin and reveals like the crooked witch face underneath, it's pretty terrifying. We now have news that there's a Robert Zemeckis remake on the way. This one will be set in 1969. It will star Anne Hathaway as a Grand High Witch in place of Angelica Houston. And Robert Zemeckis is suggesting there's going to be a southern gothic feel to it, and some parts of the film are going to be motion capture and some are going to be live action. So
He loves all that shit, doesn't he?
yeah, Orwell Marwin, I guess, is, you know...
Well, I don't even know what that is.
Welcome to Marwin is Robert Zemeckis' most recent film.
Right,
And
okay.
it's about that guy who...
Marvin Gaye?
No, he lived in a small town.
Chuck, it's your
and
cousin
he was-
Marvin Berry. Marvin the Martian. I'm just going to name Marvins at you.
So it's about a guy, it's based on a real life story, a guy who was attacked, got a brain injury. Part of his recovery is that he begins to set up G.I. Joes, as they're known in the States, but action men and Barbie dolls in this fictitious World War II town. And he takes photographs of these toys, builds a big narrative out of it, which is partially autobiographical. It's a way for him to deal with his trauma. His photographs became very famous, and then there was a documentary about him. And Robert Zemeckis has just made a weird half live action, half sort of CGI motion capture movie telling that same story. So half of the film has regular human cast of Steve Carell, and then the other half of the film is him as animated G.I. Joe.
Fine. I guess that's the thing that's happening. Steve Carell, just fucking be funny again. Make the jokey jokes. So, Robert Zemeckis, he's always doing animated shit now. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
The Witches. I mean, no, turning it into a Southern Gothic thing. While I think that might be interesting in the hands of somebody that isn't just making the Polar Express 20 times, even when it's about some poor bastard getting his head caved in. I'm not interested, frankly. Also, that G.I. Joe movie, if it was anyone else other than late period Robert Zemeckis, I might go, that sounds amazing.
So, something we don't often talk about here.
Our feelings?
We are going to touch on some feelings here.
Oh boy.
Mads Mikkelsen in a...
Oh, damn right. I've got a feeling right now. I'm feeling in my pants.
In an interview with Bloody Disgusting, talk about, I think, that new Netflix film he has. Along the way, they also talk about Brian Fuller's Hannibal and its possible return to screens.
Fucking give me some good news here, baby.
Mad said there's always hope, and Fuller's still working on new ideas, talking to different studios, and hopefully they'll find a new home for it. He also alluded that the core cast are all still ready to jump back on board.
I love this shit, man. I'm sure we mentioned it before, but if you've not seen the TV series Hannibal, it's fucking great. Like, it's just brilliant. I fucking love it, man. It's so fucked up. It's so weird. It's better than it's got any right to be. It's fantastic. Now, 10 years ago, I was like, sure, okay, Deadwood's going to come back? Never. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to happen. Now we're getting a Deadwood movie.
Yep.
So in this age, anything's possible. Get it back. I like the idea that the cast are all still like talking. You know why? Because they probably all know that's the coolest thing they're ever going to be involved in.
It was crazy good. I couldn't have done a bigger 180 on that show. I watched the first episode expecting to hate it. You know, you can't turn Hannibal into like a weekly procedural character. And Brian Fuller absolutely did.
Dick slapped you. It was like, shut the fuck up, Alan. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Engage in it was like an art house horror movie.
Yeah.
Once a week
It's
for
so
3
fucked
seasons.
up.
It was brilliant.
Basically, watch Hannibal, the TV series, not the film. Boy,
Absolutely
don't do that. And perhaps later in the year, we may talk more about Hannibal Lecter. There's a little teaser. Yes. That's good. That's good news. Don't get a lot of good news in here.
Well, thematically talking about great television series, news from the Sopranos film prequel, where Michael Gandolfini, son of James, has just been cast to play the young Tony Soprano.
So normally, this show happens with Alan telling me news that I don't know about, and you get my unvarnished reaction. That's what's been happening so far, but I knew about this. This was everywhere, and I saw this. And you know, if you'd said to me 10 years ago we're going to have a Sopranos prequel, I would have said, oh boy, that's probably not going to be any good. But in a world where we have like Breaking Bad prequels that are good, you know, then frankly I've got hope. So I'm all for it. You know, and David Chase is a man who wrote for the Rockford Files and created the Sopranos. Yeah. So you know what? Like if that guy has done 2 of the coolest things ever, like if you're writing the Rockford Files and that's the second best thing you've done in your career, holy shit, mate, you've had some career. I kind of look forward to it. I think it's a nice bit of business where, you know, he's taking on the role that his dad had. Yeah. You know what? I'm excited for this because what I like about David Chase is that he, if you've watched The Sopranos, particularly a lot of people have talked about the ending. Yeah, he's not going to do a George Lucas and be Mr. Crowd Pleaser. I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think so.
He's going to give us what we need, not what we want. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah. So I'm on board. But that's 2 bits of news now.
Yeah. So that's it for
good
TV
news
time.
All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, listen. Frankly, I don't know why I do a podcast about films. Everyone knows the best stuff's being done on TV now. Yeah. Don't listen to this podcast,
Golden
guys.
age of television.
Yeah. A podcast about fucking newspapers next. Mining.
So teasers have been big in the last few weeks. First of all, we have a teaser.
You're a teaser.
In the worst possible way, this worked like a tease. Jeff Bridges posted a teaser of what people thought was an unknown Big Lebowski 2 onto Twitter. Everybody got all excited, thought the Super Bowl's coming. Maybe this is a hint that there's going to be a Big Lebowski 2 trailer drops during the Super Bowl. The Coen brothers have been secretly working away on this. It's not. Yeah. What's happened is one of the co-authors of the original Port Huron statement, one of the founder members of the Seattle 7, has sold his soul to the man, given up White Russians, and is now shelling Stella Artois.
I mean, ironically, if you've ever drank lots of Stella, it's not going to make you as chilled out as it did. I guess you got a bit fighty. So, I mean, here's the thing, right? I understand people saw this clip, you know, we all went wild. Not me, because I am a fucking adult, right? Who took 1 second to think, wait a second, the Coen brothers aren't known for their fucking love of franchises. They're not be like, hey, do you know what'd be a great idea? A sequel. Of course not. But yous all got all excited. Well, look at old Scrooge Chris, not fucking jerking off at this fucking 1 second clip. Well, guess what? Fuck y'all. Your fucking hero has pissed all of that away, all that love that you've got for him. He's shilling for beer. Good. I'm glad he's doing it. I'm going to start drinking Stella because of it. I'm going to start drinking Stella. Fuck the rest of you.
In a classic, just everybody just out to sell stuff, this advert is a cinematic crossover of sorts because, well, Jeff Bridges is back in the jelly bean sandals and the Pendleton cardigan as Jeffrey Lebowski. Sarah Jessica Parker's shown up as Carrie Bradshaw with a little Sex and the City music playing underneath.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. So hold on. This is a shared universe.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. I'm actually even more on board with this. Big Lebowski's brilliant, right? Okay. But I know that it's going to upset so many people that there is now like a canonical shared universe between the Sex and the City girls and the fucking Big Lebowski. You know what? Stella, fucking get in there. I am so on board with this. I'm a big fan of shareholders getting their money's worth, right? And big corporations just buying over beloved properties to make money. And I think this is just a wonderful thing, guys. All in. Just like, well, the dude was drinking White Russians uptown. Downtown, I was drinking cum. It's fucking great.
She's rejected her traditional Cosmo in the advert, and she's also drinking Stella. She from a glass, the dude from a bottle.
I think, if anything, it's more of an insult to the fans of Sex and the City that Carrie Bradshaw is now drinking beer than you fucking nerds moaning about the Big Lebowski. Like, that is the equivalent of Greedo shoots first. That is No point in the Sex City was it like Miranda phoning up going, fancy a pint? Yeah, sure. Okay, slap a pair of jeans on and meet me and the gals for a quick couple of Stellas. Maybe we'll watch a football, you know? Man, that's brilliant. Well done, guys.
The dude signs off the advert by saying, sometimes changing is good.
Listen, changing is good. It's important to just be part of the capitalist machine, guys. That's what it's all about.
Speaking of that machine, it appears to be getting worked on in a barn out in the spooky countryside with a teaser which is dropped for Jason Reitman's upcoming Ghostbusters sequel.
I guess,
project.
yeah. It's a reboot sequel,
It's
right?
an in-universe sequel, because
it's a sequel to the first two films. Whereas the third Ghostbusters film,
2016,
Lady Ghostbusters, was basically a different universe. Is that right?
I think that was a big problem people had with it. It basically ignored that the previous Ghostbusters had happened.
You know why? It's because it's women want to raise men. That's listen, I'm all for this teaser trailer. It's just like, it's basically like a wee sort of shack or something, and you hear the bits of the score of Ghostbusters, and then there's like, there's a car under some tarpaulin. I wonder what it's going to be. It's the Ecto 1. It's the Ghostbusters car. And Reitman came out and he said, I'm going to make a sequel for the fans. And I think this is important, Alan. I think this is important because you know what I want from this sequel, right? No dames, like not one female character. like if there's a female character, you get a man and they put on a skirt and they do it like Monty Python, right?
Shakespearean times.
Yes, there should be no. I don't even want to have some trim on set, okay? Because this is for the fans, Alan. This is for the fans. This is for the fucking men, right?
Ghostbusters Night of the Long Sausage.
First scene is just them getting their trousers down and just showing that they've got cock and balls. They just hold them there, right? You get a nice fucking close-up of each cock and balls, right? That's not CGI. These are real men. Then it cuts back up. They're breaking their Gillette razors because they're like, they're not this fucking snowflake lady Ghostbusters, and they throw the razors away, right?
And then the bin's already filled with vegan sausage rolls from Greg's.
That's it. But again, let's be very clear. It's really close on their cocks because this is for men. You know what they're doing? They're drinking fucking pints of Stella, right? While watching a Millwall game, right? They still have to have their cock and balls out at all time because this is for men. It's going to be a men's Ghostbusters. By the way, those CGI lady ghosts, right? Fucking chick in the library sushing them, that's now like a big burly guy in a vest, all right? And he's just walking about going, say whatever you want, lads. You know why? Because we're a bunch of fucking lads. Men's Ghostbusters for men, the way it's always been, the way it should have been.
That was astounding.
Yeah, well done for the fans. That was a dick move. I don't know if he meant it that way. I hope he didn't. That it was a dick move, but that Lady Ghostbusters film, I don't think was maybe as big a hit as they wanted it to be. And now they've just tried to course correct financially, because we don't know that this new Ghostbusters might be great. Particularly if they follow my notes. Hollywood, give me a call. I just think they're trying to make it a super huge franchise they can get loads of stuff out of, and I don't know if it can support that, because by its very nature, that first film was just a kind of goof, like loads of cool stuff, but really it's those, like there was an article in the AV Club where it was basically saying Ghostbusters is those four fucking dudes.
Absolutely.
Just
lighting a bottle. I mean, they proved they couldn't even replicate it because
they did Ghostbusters 2,
yeah.
Which, if you listen to our Ghostbusters 2 episode, we were like, it's alright, not the greatest. Maybe the Lady Ghostbusters could have turned that around and their second one was better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
But we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Kick it to the curb, ladies. You just go back to the secretarial pool.
Because this one's all about the dong.
It's all about it, dudes. Listen, the only things they're busting is nuts over each other. So I would love nothing more than there be another great Ghostbusters film, but I just don't think there will be.
Yeah, I mean, it's on its way whether we like it or not. Well, we've been through the remake, the TV returnings, and the teasing. I'm going to get to the displeasing news now. So recently, an article on The Atlantic outlined the many allegations against Bryan Singer, and in light of that, he's still at the reins of the Red Sonja remake, which is a character who herself has been a victim of sexual abuse, is a sexual abuse survivor, and so now we have an abuser directing a film about an abuse survivor.
And that was our news, everybody. Hi, it's me, Chris, the sexier half of Diminishing Returns podcast. As always, you've heard a little jingle and you're hearing me interrupt your show. It means you know that I'm about to advertise some shit. I have 2 shows at the Glasgow International Comedy Festival 2019. If you're listening to this in the future, after March of 2019, too late. But if you're listening to this near the time of release, I have 2 shows at the Glasgow International Comedy Festival. The first one, I'm part of a showcase of Scottish stand-up called 3 Men and a Tall Lady at the Iron Horse Pub on the 23rd of March at 4:30. It's a Saturday, so that has me, who you know is hilarious, and a bunch of other cool stand-ups, including a finalist in the Scottish Comedian of the Year competition. So not only is it me who's brilliant, but there's one other person who's actually amazing. Find out which one's which if you come to that show. 3 Men and a Tall Lady is a show that we've done for previous festivals. It always sells out, so if you do want to come, get your ticket from the Glasgow International Comedy Festival website. The other show that I'm doing is with my improv group, Improv Killed My Dog. We're doing a show called Magnum PI. It's one of the dumbest things we've ever done. We did it at the Fringe last year. It was really good fun. So we're basically doing an improvised episode of a show that I have never seen, Magnum PI, and that is on Friday the 29th of March at 7:15 at Yes Bar. Tickets for both shows are available from the Glasgow International Comedy Festival website. So just Google Glasgow Comedy Festival, and that's 3 Men and a Tall Lady, which is a stand-up show, and Magnum PI, which is an improv show. If you're a fan of the show, come down and introduce yourself. So what we doing next?
We're right into our favourite segment of the show.
And that is Trailer Talk. Bam, bam, bam. Big Aldo,
Yeah.
what do you want to talk about first?
So let's kick off.
Of a side of a building.
Yes.
Swing through the cityscape.
Let's do that, Chris. Let's talk about Spider-Man Far From Home, because I'm riding high on the old Spideyverse. You know, the Into the Spider-Verse was brilliant. Loved it. And I had previously enjoyed Homecoming. So
Yeah.
now that Tom Holland's back in the tights, I'm excited to see what happens here. But as far as the release schedule of Marvel films go, you know, where does this take place? Is it
I think
after
that
Homecoming, after Infinity, even after Endgame?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions there, and I can guarantee you, right? I can guarantee you that there is a very dull YouTube video asking those questions by 2 men that look probably even worse than me and you. Do you know what I mean? And but like they sound a lot more enthusiastic. These guys that's like, we're doing a deep dive on the trailer. You're like, mate, it's a fucking trailer. Like, what kind of loser does a video about trailers? You do it on a podcast, like gentlemen, like a couple of shaggers, like me and Alan.
A couple of potential Ghostbusters.
That's it. 2 dudes. Get us in the Ghostbusters. When will white men get a chance? God damn it. Listen, Spider-Man Away from the Home. What's it called?
Yeah, it's
Far From
Spider-Man
Home?
European Vacation.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Holiday Road.
Lindsay Buckingham.
What a man. I really wanted to go see Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah,
and then before the tour they chipped him out, so I'm like, I'm not going.
Yeah, but it's good because now he's off the leash and he's just bad-mouthing everyone.
Beautiful. But we're not going to badmouth, I think, is this trailer.
No, Nick Fury's there.
Big Nicholas Fury.
Shows up during
Nicholas Furiosa, to give him his full name.
Shows up during Spider-Man's school trip to Europe.
A little creepy.
In Venice. Yeah, it's a little odd.
You could have done it at
Especially
that
when he
point.
sedates his roommate.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, whoa, Nick, come
Yeah,
on,
I like the idea.
man.
Like, yeah, he sedates, like, is shot like basically Spider-Man and his fat comic relief friend walk into the hotel room or whatever on this European vacation, and then fat wee kid falls over, and you can see he's been sedated with a little poison thing, and then of course the camera moves to reveal it's Nick Fury sitting there. But I kind of like the idea that the fat friend falls over. The camera reveals Nick Fury, and then he goes, "Oh, you're here, Peter. Yeah, I want to talk to you about the Avengers stuff. Yeah, definitely. I knew you were coming to be in this room as well. Yeah, you're definitely coming back with the fat kid, sure." Oh, and he's all sitting there with blue balls. What I'm saying is, Nick Fury is going to direct Red Sonja. So Nick Fury's in it. Cool. We like Nick Fury.
But then Mysterio shows up.
Yeah, I was so excited because Mysterio's going to be like, 'cause he's one of my favourite Spider-Man.
Played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Young Tom Holland was great in the first film. We've also got Jon Favreau back as Happy.
Who seems to have a thing going on with Aunt May.
Yeah, he's basically trying to pump Marisa Tomei, which, when you talk about relatable film characters, for a large part of the audience, they're going to be like, yeah, I relate to this film character. He's going to try and pump hot Aunt May. Anyway, listen, fucking sharp nerds.
So, I mean, there's just like...
Yeah, Marvel stuff. Marvel.
Marvel's on the way.
But yeah, Spider-Man, we're up for it. Mysterio, big fan. Because at first I was like, because you couldn't really see stuff. He turns up in the outfit and I'm like, oh, what's that outfit?
The helmet, which is disconcerting, but then you see him.
You see him in the helmet, and that's when I went, oh, cool, that makes sense. What I'm saying is, I want to see Jake Gyllenhaal's big helmet.
Yep.
To the surprise of nobody who's ever listened to this podcast, we're both in for Spider-Man Holiday. What's it called? Away from Home?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Far From Home. So normally at this point I would go, what's the next trailer you want to talk about? But I know, because we've only got one more choice.
Yeah, Si Vis Pacem Parabellum.
Oh, okay. What's that mean?
To secure peace, prepare for war.
Oh, lovely. Oh, you know what I'll be preparing to do? Jerk off to this trailer. It's fucking John Wick 3. Parabellum, everyone. Parabellum.
So
fucking perineum. Patty LaBelle. Lady Antebellum.
Hey.
Parabellum, I barely knew them.
Yeah. Previously, when we reported in this film, I had looked up Parabellum and seen that it was an automatic weapon. But now, in context of the trailer, they actually used 2 title cards that says, "If you want peace, prepare for war."
Holy shit, John Wick guys, you're fucking killing it. You're already killing it. You know why you're fucking killing it, man? Because it looks amazing. It's got a whole city of assassins wanting to fucking kill him. He throws a machine gun at a guy. He fucking is on a bike taking a machete out to fucking hit another guy. He then gets on a horse and just shoots a motherfucker in the head. Are you kidding me, motherfuckers?
You've missed a key detail. He's on a horse and he shoots a guy on a motorbike in the head.
Fucking hell, man.
That guy on the motorbike 2 seconds ago had a samurai sword. Basically, my notes for this trailer were a list of knife fights, teeth smashing with books, Keanu on a horse, a motorbike, Keanu on a sand dune, he throws a machine gun, Harry Belly with German Shepherds, Mark Dacascos.
My notes for this are just covered in cum because I didn't even touch it. It just exploded with joy.
Honestly, the John Wick films are a brilliant little cinematic universe unto themselves.
Yes.
Really slickly made, great looking action films, and where they really, truly invest in the fight sequences.
Yep, that's great.
And it makes them such a goddamn delight to watch.
That's what we should invest in, people. Don't invest in children. Don't invest in gold. Don't invest in yourself. Fuck yourself. You're a piece of shit. Invest in action. Action sequences, baby. This isn't a pyramid scheme. It's going to keep us going at the top, right?
At this point, I would like to recommend everybody goes on Twitter and follows the Keanu Doing Stuff Twitter account, because just the other day, I saw a little video of Keanu learning to ride a horse. It must have been for his role in Much Ado About Nothing,
where he also shoots somebody in the head. I may not have seen that film. I assume that's what he says before he shoots the guy. He just turns around and goes, "Much ado about nothing." You know, right? So I'm not gonna be disappointed when I watch that film, right?
Not in the slightest.
Sweet. Guns are cool.
Have you seen the movie Blue in the Face?
Don't think so.
About this, like Harvey Keitel owns a cigar shop and it's various customers.
Like people come in and I'm aware of it. I've seen the odd clip, but I've not.
There's a sequence when Jim Jarmusch is in and he's talking about how he doesn't like in action cinemas how when somebody's got a gun that runs out of bullets, they throw the gun down. But I have to say, Jim Jarmusch, my favourite thing in movies is when people have guns and throw them at each other.
Jim Jarmusch is talking out his ass.
And in this trailer, when he throws the AR-15 or whatever it is, holy fuck.
I've just run out of bullets. I'm just going to scud this guy with a machine gun. Fucking right on. If you don't like the John Wick films, I don't even know where to fucking start with you, right? I'll tell you where to start. Turn off this fucking podcast, you piece of shit human beings.
Well, I mean, will we mention at all what the plot seems to be?
There's a city full of assassins going to kill John Wick. That's it. That's all we need. That's the plot. Also, McShane, Angelica Houston. Fucking, what more do you want, Alan?
I love it when McShane calls him Jonathan.
Hey, listen.
Just like his nice
Sunday name.
Yeah. John just wants safe passage.
Get the fuck out of the city. So, you in for John Wick 3?
Holy fuck.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm balls deep
already.
in. Motherfucker.
I'm already.
I'm in, you're in, we're both in for Spider-Man, John Wick 3. What I'm saying to you, Hollywood, is that if you just keep making cool ass shit with beloved characters from my childhood or new characters that kill people good, we are going to watch it and we will recommend it to our, let me be very clear, millions of listeners.
Yes.
I may not know what the word millions means, but thank you, Sid and Doris Bonkers, who listen. You are my favourite people. That was a spectacularly enthusiastic trailer talk. Bum, bum, bum. Fuck my tits. That was fun.
First trailer talk of 2019.
And it was a belter.
Yeah.
I can only go downhill from here, frankly.
Well, before we get out here on a high, Chris, do you have a recommendation for our listeners?
I want to make a statement, right, that hopefully won't bite me in the ass, but it might. So remember the last bonus where we were doing our end of year 2018 recommendations?
Yep.
And I realised I think I'd only seen about 13 new films.
Yes,
So I'm going to make an effort. I want to aim for double that. And you're going to have to remember that I've said this, because I will forget it the minute I walk out of here. And so when it gets to a roundup for 2019, I guess I want to have seen 26 films. That seems a lot. That seems a lot. I'm already wanting to walk that back. 24? Like one a month when my Cineworld pass. Other cinemas are available, but the pass that I use, right? I need to see 2 films a month to make it, I think, financially worth my while.
Okay.
So 12 months times 2, 24 films, right?
Alrighty.
I want to have seen 24 films that were released this year in the UK.
Okay.
There's a small chance I'll have to take 2 weeks off work in December to cram in like 14 fucking films. But yeah. So as part of this, I decided to try and see 1 film this month. I was going to try and see 2, and I've already fucked it, so I'm already 1 behind. Ah, you son of a bitch, motherfucker.
It's alright. February's one of those long months. You can sneak an extra one in.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait a second. So I went to see The Favourite.
Okay.
Top of the recent Oscar nominations.
Yes,
with 10 Oscar noms, which is equal with Roma. The Favourite is fucking brilliant.
Really?
It's really good, man. So funny. It's got a really cool vibe to it. Like, I'm actually surprised it's as successful as it is, because it feels like the sort of kind of cool, weird film that people would be like, oh man, did you ever remember seeing that film on Channel 4 at 1 a.m? It's like, God, that's a great film. And like, it's like got that vibe to it. But I guess it's got some biggish stars in it, and I think what I like about it, the actual kind of just whole idea of it, you just go, oh yeah, that's a cool idea for a film. It's great. I fucking loved The Favourite, and I beseech you all to see it. And frankly, I'm actually quite glad for once that, you know, the Oscars have kind of seemed to have got it right, but because while, you know, it's a period piece, because there's 3 women in it, am I right, guys?
Hey.
But no, while it's a period piece, a lot of people may be fooled into thinking that it's like kind of a respectful British, and it's got a patina of class. The script's banging, the fucking performances are banging. It's dirty and funny, and there's great swearing in it, and I love great swearing. I mean, you know what I mean? Like when people swear badly, it irks me, because then people go, swearing's brilliant when done properly, as evidenced by this fucking podcast. I love it. The Favourite, go see it, people. It's great. And then I also watched 2 old episodes of The Twilight Zone the other week.
Wow.
And
nice.
I'm like, I'm going to probably go through some of the classic Twilight Zone episodes.
Do you know which episodes?
Watched To Serve Man,
right?
Which obviously I know, like I know the context, you know, like I knew the twist and all that, but it was still quite fun. The monsters are due on Maple Street.
That's one of my very favourites.
So fun. Like the performances in that,
scare,
but the performances in it are so fucking great. Like they've not that kind of mannered way you get in some old shows, like,
and for television at that time as well.
It's got a great kind of thematic subtext, as you say, the kind of Red Scare vibe, which is still something you can tag it to loads of other stuff. And the twist is kind of cool as well. Like so I'll probably
give a few more.
Like, I'll go through the kind of list of the greatest ones, and I don't know how far I'll get along with that. I'm not going to make a declaration unlike my films. Those 2 things, and my final recommendation, because I think a lot of people maybe won't bother because of the season 2 debacle.
Oh, I'm on tenterhooks here. Please tell me you're about to say True Detective season 3 is brilliant.
So far, 3 episodes in, I'll probably try and watch a 4th one tonight. But 3 episodes in, 100% on board.
Oh my word.
See the main guy, his performance in it so far. He's playing the guy at 3 different ages.
3 timelines.
But like, if you just showed me the old guy him, and you were like, this is this old actor guy, he used to be in theatre, he's actually 60 years old, I'd have been like, I could 100, like, there's no doubt in my mind that's an old guy, even though I know it's a young guy in old man makeup. It's fun. The performance is phenomenal. However, caveat, 3 episodes in, it might turn don't, like, if I go home tonight and it's just like, you know,
more just Los Angeles water corruption, then
I'm telling you, man, that season 2 could have been great.
I don't know whether it was just my love of the show that I was just desperate I want to like this. You know, it was like True Detective does Chinatown.
The actors were really good.
The cast was great.
But yeah, they just didn't quite nail it. And the first episode of this season, I was like, I'm not sure of season 3. I'm like, I don't know. It's just maybe a bit cliche and a bit kind of going back to the well. By the end of 2, I was like, no, this is pretty great. And then at the end of episode 3, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. So far, tentative.
Glad to hear it.
Alan, what have you got to recommend?
Very quickly, I have been listening to the Steve Miller Band. In particular, the post-Boz Scaggs albums.
He's the third of the Miliband brothers. There's Ed Miliband. Joke for political fans of the UK there.
And no disrespect to Boz Scaggs. I mean, the Lido Shuffle or whatever.
It's a great name though, isn't it?
Boz Scaggs. It sounds like an STD.
Oh, you got Boz Scaggs?
Yes.
Oh, man. I go to see my doctor, Steve Miller, and he said, yeah, you've got the Boz Scaggs. I was like, fuck. Shouldn't have put that there.
But my real recommendation, Second Sight have put out a Blu-ray release of When a Stranger Calls from 1979. The Blu-ray package has the original 1979 film. It has its 1993 television sequel, the original short film that the project grew out of, called The Sitter. Plus it is a third disc which has the soundtrack to the original film, plus a book and reversible poster, artwork, all that gubbins. When a Stranger Calls is great.
I've heard of that. I have not seen.
You might very well know it because it's inspired by the urban legend of the babysitter and the man upstairs.
Oh, right.
The calls coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
So that forms a massive part of the film. Scream owes a huge debt to it because the first opening 20 minutes is this long
call from in-house,
but the actual movie goes really weird places, and the director Fred Walton, based on this film, should have had an astonishing career. And I don't know why he didn't. For like a 70s kind of slasher film, essentially, the actual framing of shots and stuff, it's magnificent. Really looks classy as all tits. And And Fred Walton should really have gone on a massive success, and he didn't. The only other thing that I know him from is he directed The Stepford Husbands, which was a TV movie, and he directed 1986's April Fool's Day, which is a great 80s slasher style film. But When a Stranger Calls from Second Sight, what a package that is.
Excellent. Would you recommend that film to people who aren't super weird horror nerds like yourself, i.e. me?
Yeah, because it's not a straight ahead horror film. It's it's much more of a weird psychosexual thriller.
I like my fellow psychosexual, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Guys, that's been another one of our non-franchise episodes. As ever, you can send us your comments, your suggestions, pictures of your genitals, and email us at diminishingpod@gmail.com. On Twitter, we are diminishingpod. On Facebook, we are Diminishing Returns Podcast. You can tag us and stuff at Diminishing Returns Pod. On Instagram, we're Diminishing Pod. We are influencers, and we will be trying to start a festival. We have a blog at diminishingpod.wordpress.com, and we've got the odd video on YouTube if you can find it. We're an independent podcast. As ever, guys, the important thing is telling your friends. So if you can all pick one friend that's into cool movies and can understand Scottish accent and also there's a high threshold for sexual swear words, send them a link to a specific episode of the show that you think they may like, or put it on their device for them, because we want to grow the show, we want to keep doing the show. Alan has a lot of fun doing it. I'm kind of on the bubble about it, to be honest with you, but we want to keep doing the show, and if you can do that, and if you can rate and reviews at iTunes, that helps new people find the show, or rate and reviews wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, a lot of people, I didn't realise this, listen to podcasts on Spotify, so please, if you know anyone who listens to stuff on Spotify, point them our way. This working class man from the hardscrabble streets, I need the money. Alan, of course, is Mr. Burns-esque figure who, despite having much wealth, is making me record this in his fucking cold basement. So please get us more listeners so we can one day monetize this and be an Estella Trois advert that did abides.
Thanks, guys.
An American came into the bar I was working in years ago, and was like, oh, can I get one of those Stellar Artoisiers? And I'm like, mate, like that second word is not even close to what's there. Also, if you're an American listener, I know that accent was amazing. Thank you. I mean, you're like, holy shit, it's like it's so specific. Like, did he grow up in America? You're welcome, by the way. You're also welcome for Jimi Hendrix, right? Had to come over to the UK, fucking get famous. Yeah, America, you're welcome.